So, I've been learning how to cook and have been doing cooking practicals for a few years now. And, well, I consider myself to be somewhat of an okay cook. I'm not Soma Yukihira from Food Wars, per se, but I'm just okay. But this story is going to make you think that I'm a complete novice idiot who tried to be Gordon Ramsay, but instead ended up being the first contestant to be eliminated off of Hell's Kitchen instead. So, I'm someone who likes to have a bowl of cereal after every meal because it feels good, and there's this whole science behind it. Apparently it's really good for you, but let's be honest, it's just my best excuse for eating something sweet after a meal. Anyway, and I'm also someone who likes to experiment with his food a lot. I'm trying to be like Soma from Food Wars so bad. So this one time, I was in the kitchen in my student dorms, getting my daily bourne of cornflakes. And I had a fat brain idea. What if I could make these cornflakes even more crispy than they already were? So, without any research on how to do that, or without using any common sense whatsoever, I just went ahead and thought, if I were to heat up the cornflakes using a microwave, then the dried up flakes would get so warm to the point where they would go stiff, and then I could pour milk that's been in the freezer over them, and it would produce a snap, pop, or crinkle sound, and the cereal would get even more crispy. That was the theory anyway. So, when it came time to execute this theory, I poured the cereal in the bowl, and for added heat and flavor, I added 1 piece of Toblerone to the dry bowl of cereal, because I figured that the dense chocolate would produce its own heat, and therefore it could make the dry cereal even hotter. Now, remember this part, because it's where everything started to go wrong. So, after putting the bowl of cereal and Toblerone in the microwave, I set the timer for 3 minutes, also known as mistake number 2. And then I put the bowl of cereal in the microwave because my dumbass thought, hell yeah, this is gonna be awesome, I can't wait for this. But, little did I know, this was about to be the worst cooking mistake I've ever had. So, past the 1 minute and 30 second mark, the microwave started to produce a lot of smoke. And when I noticed this, obviously my first instinct was to open the door of the microwave and see what was wrong. I saw steam coming up of the cereal, so I proceeded to close the door of the microwave again and continue to microwave it, because in my head I thought, hell yeah, the experiment is going according to plan. No it wasn't. Not at all. So then, I started smelling the smoke. And it was that scent you get whenever you smell something burning. Also, keep in mind, back at my dorms, I lived with roommates. And one of them was in the kitchen with me while I was doing this. And I know he's my roommate and all, but I don't even remember his name. Let's just call him Mikey. And he was there with me for my quote-unquote golden moment. But for some reason, he didn't smell anything at first. He noticed the smell 5 minutes afterwards, but I'm jumping ahead anyway. So to go back to where we currently are, there is a smell of burning in the air. And so now naturally, a normal person would just open a window, take whatever burning thing is there out, and clean out the smell. Well, here's where I let all of humanity down by saying that I did not do any of that. I didn't. I just stood there and let the cereal ride out the full time whilst telling myself that this was all according to plan. I am an idiot. When the full time was up, I couldn't even take the bowl out because of how damn hot it was. And at this point, the whole room smelled like something was burning, and it was at this very moment that I accepted that something had gone wrong. But also now, I was afraid that my roommate would start asking questions, and at that very cue, he turned around to me and asked, "Is something burning?" In the back of my mind, I let out the biggest, "Oh fuck, I can't believe you've done this." And then, I had another fat brain idea. Because the last one worked out so well, right? I thought that maybe convincing him that the smell wasn't coming from my bowl was a great way to avoid the fact that potentially I could have burnt some cereal. And it would have been even more embarrassing because I was bragging about how I loved how to cook or that I'm a good cook to him that year as well. I just told him, "Hold on, let me just check the microwave because yeah, I do smell something and it looks like it's coming from the microwave." No shit, it would be coming from there. But see, here's where I'm even more confused. Because when I checked the inside of the microwave, to run with the fact that I was trying to convince this guy that it was the microwave and not me, I found a blackened thing of what looked like some sort of solid material that was inside the microwave. And that's when I figured that I could just use that to convince him that I didn't do anything wrong. So when I took the black thing out and showed him, he just said, "Oh, that makes sense." And that's when my mind felt slightly at ease. As soon as he said that, he got back to doing his dishes, and then I looked at the cereal and saw that there wasn't anything out of the ordinary with the actual cereal itself. So then I got some of the milk and poured it over the cereal because, cereal first, then milk. Also, I wasn't going to use my own milk for this because I figured that if something had gone wrong, then I wasn't wasting my own milk on this at least. I am a terrible roommate. Also, when I poured that milk over the cereal, that pop, crinkle, and snap was there. Which is why I thought at first that I had succeeded. But then, when I got back to my room with my bowl, I sat down at my desk, took a nice big spoon, and just put it into my mouth. As soon as I took that first bite, I tasted something off. So I looked down at the bowl and saw something dark floating to the top. I thought it was chocolate at first somehow, but upon looking closer, I saw a piece of blackened cereal rise to the top. So I got my spoon and dug to the bottom of the bowl to see what was inside and fished out this giant ass black ball of what was once cereal, and then just stared at it for a few seconds. But honestly, this was the moment I realized that I actually burnt cereal, and also a realization that apparently cereal can burn. Now, mistake number 3. My third and perhaps biggest mistake here was that instead of throwing that cereal out like a normal person, my dumbass thought that it wouldn't be too bad, so I decided to take a nice chunk out of it because I come from a South Asian family, and it's a place where if you waste food, you get a slipper thrown at you by your parents. But honestly, in that moment, I would have rather taken the slipper, because as soon as I took that bite, I regretted every life choice immediately. So, I went in for a second bite, because I thought maybe I was just imagining things. Fat brain, I guess. And no, I wasn't. It tasted like complete garbage. So I went and just threw it out. Now, I have a couple of theories as to how I might have burnt cereal. The first theory is that the nougat in the Toblerone might have been the thing that caught on fire. But since I don't even know if that is possible, that theory stands in the back. My second and most likely theory is this. So you know how Toblerone comes wrapped in a long sleeve of foil, right? Well, I think when I ripped the piece of Toblerone off from the set, a small piece of foil might have accidentally fallen into the bowl without me noticing, and that's what the blackened thing was. But the only reason why I don't believe that is because the black thing was outside of the bowl. So if the foil fell into the bowl, how could it be outside? I have no actual conclusion to how this incident happened, but I want to believe the second theory the most, because it's the one that makes the most, but also the least sense. Maybe I just burnt the cereal itself, who knows? It was 3 minutes after all. But yeah, that's the story of how I burnt cereal. And after telling people about it, and from their ongoing reaction to it, it looks like I'm going to be stuck with this stigma for the rest of my life. And honestly, roast me for it, because if I'm going to be suffering from this mistake, then at least I'll get some comedy out of it. Roast me like how I roasted cereal, because everyone who I've told this to already has. Maybe one day I'll try this experiment again. Hopefully this time it actually works, or maybe this time I might actually succeed in setting fire to the kitchen, who knows. Well, that's the story of how I burnt cereal. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. So that was my first YouTube video, and after completing it, I feel really accomplished with what I've managed to put out. I do get like how the inconsistencies with the drawings could be something that, like, you know, bother some people, but I will try to work on that in the future. I want to get like a character for myself anyway, like the whole bear icon thing I've got. Maybe that will be the character I've got for myself. But yeah, who knows? This was just a massive test anyway to see if I could even do it, and thankfully it's sort of worked. But I have so much that I want to improve as I keep going. I want to learn so much more about like audio software, editing softwares, just all sorts of different things I want to learn as I go. And hey, I want to keep doing this anyway, and in a year or two from now, looking back, there'll be a major difference anyway. And that's what I look forward to the most, just growing and really expanding my channel and hopefully making a brand for myself someday. But yeah, thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, that good stuff. Leave a comment telling me what I should improve in the future. That's the most important thing for me right now, just improving and taking that feedback. But that is pretty much it for now. So thank you for watching, I really appreciate it, and I will see you later. Bye.